Congressmember Kevin McCarthy's tenure as House Speaker was one of the shortest in U.S. history, and it might have been one of the most tumultuous as well. And that's in part because of the threat of ouster by hard-right Republicans if McCarthy didn't consistently cater to their demands. And on Tuesday, they executed on that threat when 8 House Republicans voted with Democrats to unprecedentedly ouster Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. Our Washington correspondent Cassie Simeons covered McCarthy from his rise as speakership earlier this year to last night's vote. She joins us now. There you are, Cassie, in Capitol Hill. Cassie, give us a sense of what McCarthy was able to accomplish. It was a short tenure, just over 9 months, but there were some things to talk about.
Well, Kevin McCarthy won the Speaker's gavel in January, capping a decades-long climb up the political ladder. It took 15 rounds of voting before he won over enough ultra-conservative House Republicans to win the Speaker's election. McCarthy, though, always the optimist, vowed to bridge the deep divides within his party, but ultimately it proved not to be enough. It might have been the highlight of Kevin McCarthy's reign as Speaker. The moment he won the coveted gavel in January, a vindication for the California Republican who has always considered himself an underdog.
You don't give up. Let them underestimate you. Just work harder. And at the end of the day, you'll be better.
We visited with McCarthy in his hometown of Bakersfield, California, soon after he became Speaker. Never give up, he reminded us then, was his motto. He won the speakership by building ties to Republicans, raising campaign money for them, and in the end, making controversial concessions to give hard-right Republicans more power. That included changing the rules to allow just one member to introduce a motion to oust him.
I think a lot of people are concerned that with these conservative members, that you're beholden to them in a way.
You know, a lot of people will say a lot of different things, but watch how I govern.
McCarthy time and again tried to placate his hard-right flank, including passing a conservative border security bill, though it was dead on arrival in the Senate, creating a House subcommittee to investigate the so-called weaponization of the government against conservatives, and opening an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden.
And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans.
But it was not enough. In May, he enraged his hardline members by striking a deal with President Joe Biden to raise the nation's borrowing limit in order to avoid a potentially catastrophic default. Then, over the weekend, he reversed himself and relied on votes from House Democrats to keep the government funded at current levels to avoid a shutdown. With that, renegade Republican Matt Gaetz introduced the resolution that would lead to McCarthy's ouster. McCarthy perhaps predicting his own demise in our interview in March.
At the end of the day, you have to make a decision.
Decisions, McCarthy told reporters just hours after his ouster, he doesn't regret.
I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise. I don't regret my efforts to build coalitions and find solutions. I was raised to solve problems, not create them. So I may have lost a vote today, but as I walk out of this chamber, I feel fortunate to have served the American people.
McCarthy, who said time and again he never gives up, finally did, deciding not to run for Speaker again after his ouster, concluding he just didn't have the votes to win, and realizing perhaps many in his caucus do not share his vision for the party. McCarthy lasted 9 months in the job, the third shortest tenure in history. As for what's next, McCarthy hasn't said if he will remain in Congress or if he will resign. An election for the next Speaker is expected to begin next week, Amrit.
All eyes on that election for the next Speaker. Cassie, thank you so much for giving us that perspective on Kevin McCarthy's tenure, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.